In this competitive environment, where more and more of the youth are confronted with the issue of employment, you need a well-structured educational platform that will provide practical and professional interactions aimed at empowering the youth so they can take personal responsibility for the kind of job they want and how to professionally go about it.
Today, we'll be looking at steps for successful job search. And under these steps, there are 3 important areas that will engage our attention. So these are the 3 important principles that will engage our attention. And so we'll be looking at the competitive environment. We'll be looking at the nature of information. We'll be looking at know what employers want. Ladies and gentlemen, when we say the environment has become competitive, what does it mean? What do you do in a competitive environment? What are some of the strategies you put in place? Because when you find yourself in a competitive environment, the way you think strategically, the way you look at things objectively, the way you scrutinize things thoroughly will determine the kind of results you produce. And so during this section, we'll be looking at the kind of strategies you must put in place that will give you that edge. When it comes to the second one, the nature of information to present. Ladies and gentlemen, as you step out there to look for your dream job, you must recognize that the kind of information you present, the nature of the information you present to the employer will determine whether he must come to an informed conclusion of your suitability or competence. In other words, your information will serve as a very strong basis for judging who you are. And so what kind of information must you present in order to create that important opinion about yourself? And so we'll be looking at that during this particular area. And then the last one, know what employers want. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not enough to develop the right strategies in a competitive environment. It is not enough to understand the kind of information to present so as to create that important opinion about yourself. It will also be extremely crucial to step out there, identify what employers want so as to be able to prove that indeed you are the most competent person for the job. And so these are some of the things we'll be looking at during the steps for successful job search. And so today we'll be starting with the first one, the competitive environment. We'll be starting with a competitive environment. When we say the environment has become competitive, what exactly does it mean? And we'll be looking at it from 2 perspectives. First of all, we're looking at it from the corporate perspective. And then we'll be looking at it from the job market perspective. So when we say corporate perspective, what does it mean? When we say the environment has become competitive, what it means is that the kind of services you provide, the kind of goods you sell at a competitive price of which you think they are the best. There are other individuals, there are other organizations, there are other institutions, there are other companies who are also providing the same services, who are also selling the same goods. And so when you have a situation where the kind of services you provide, there are other individuals, organizations who are also doing the same, what happens is that your profit comes under heavy attack. And so before we look at how a competitive environment influences the profit, we'll look first of all at the relevance of your profit. Profit helps the organization to pay wages and salaries. Profit helps the organization to meet other statutory and non-statutory obligations. Profit helps the organization to invest into other areas. And so when the profit comes under heavy attack, it means it can curtail the growth of the organization. And so there are 2 ways by which the organization can make profit. And these 2 ways must work simultaneously. The first is the organization must develop strategies with a view to helping him raise more revenue. So the revenue is very important when it comes to profit. The second point is every revenue you bring in has some important cost component. And so what you must make sure is that in order to make that profit, that cost component must always come down. But look at how it works within a competitive environment. In a competitive environment, that is when you have a situation where other organizations are providing the same services, are selling the same goods, it becomes unwise. It becomes totally unprofessional to increase the price of your product. And so when you increase the price of your product, your clients will move to your competitors. And so what you do is you develop strategies, you put in place mechanisms that will help you improve upon your client base. And so in a competitive environment, ladies and gentlemen, the strategies you put in place, the mechanisms you develop will be significant in determining whether you'll be able to survive the turbulence or be crashed out. The same way when it comes to the job market. Decades ago, individuals who completed their programs never will have to struggle for a job. But now the environment has changed. And the change has become so drastic to the extent that when you come out of school, you will literally have to go out there and struggle for the kind of job you're looking for. When you come out of school, there are other students who have also pursued the same program, who also possess the same qualification and are also interested in the same position you want. So when you find yourself in that situation, what you are supposed to do is to learn how to develop the right strategies, is to learn how to put in place certain mechanisms, is to learn how to invest quality time in planning, is to learn how to effectively prepare for the kind of job you want. And so it is not that easy to just come out there and expect that the job will move to you. You have to develop those strategies. You have to learn how to prepare. You have to ask yourself, since you completed your program, when was the last time you sat down to strategize? When was the last time you invested quality time in preparing for the kind of job you want? If you're unable to prepare well, it will be very difficult to operate within this environment. My mission is very simple: to share with you information as to how you can develop the right strategies, to share with you information how you can develop the right skills so you can step out there and be able to land your dream job. Ladies and gentlemen, what have we been looking at today? We've been looking at steps for successful job search. And I have indicated that in the competitive environment, the way you think, the way you plan, the quality of time you invest will be significant in coming out successfully. And so the first step has to do with the fact that you must recognize that we are in a competitive environment. And so whatever you're looking for, there are individuals out there who are also interested, and they are also working very hard. So like I have said, our mission is to share with you, is to empower you, is to get you equipped, is to get you understand how to prepare for that dream job. So when you step out there, you'll be able to demonstrate enthusiasm, you'll be able to demonstrate confidence, you'll be able to demonstrate deeper understanding of the kind of job you're looking for, you'll be able to demonstrate that indeed you have really prepared yourself.